Hi guys, welcome to this video which is going to focus on what happens when you react a metal with an acid. So this video is going to focus on what happens when they react with acids. However, if you want more detail on word equations, click here. This will go through all the different word equations for acids and reacting with metals, metal oxides and metal carbonates. Balancing equations, how to write them from scratch, click on this video here. And then finally writing ionic equations. It would be useful to get yourself familiar with these three videos before you carry on with this one. The general equation for a metal reacting with an acid then is to produce a salt and hydrogen. So as you can see here, I'm putting calcium into hydrochloric acid and you can see a reaction occurring. The products that I'm making are calcium chloride and hydrogen gas. Now it's important to note that whenever you put a metal on its own into an acid, you get hydrogen gas. So that is your byproduct. We can test that by putting it into a lit splint and you should get a squeaky pop. The other thing you need to know is what happens when you put the different acids together with that metal. Now if you react a metal with hydrochloric acid, you will get a chloride. If you react a metal with nitric acid, you will get a nitrate. And if you react a metal with sulfuric acid, you will get a sulfate. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's really important to be able to write the word equations and write balanced equations if you're doing the higher and the foundation paper. If you're doing the higher paper, you also need to be able to write the ionic equations. So please click on the links, go back and watch those videos before you move on to the apply section of this video. Okay, hopefully you've done that. Let's have a look at some questions then. So question 1 asks you to write the word equation for the reaction between magnesium and nitric acid. That's worth 2 marks. The second one, write the balanced equation for the reaction between magnesium and nitric acid. So that's 3 marks. Question 3, describe what you will see when sodium is reacted with hydrochloric acid. So use the state symbols, have a go at that. Think back to the video that you saw earlier. Question 4, explain why you will not see a reaction when silver is reacted with hydrochloric acid. And then for those of you doing the higher paper, write the half equation to show what happens to the magnesium atoms during the reaction between magnesium and hydrochloric acid. Pause the video, have a go at those now, see how you do. Right, let's go through question 1 then. This says, write the word equation for the reaction between magnesium and nitric acid. So the first thing you want to do is put in your reactants, which it tells you in the question, which are magnesium and nitric acid. The second thing, you need to think to yourself, right, okay, I'm reacting magnesium with nitric acid. What does nitric acid give me? It's a nitrate. So I'm going to get magnesium nitrate. That gets you 1 mark. The second thing, think through the byproduct. The second thing that's given off, hydrogen, which gets you your 2nd mark. Question 2 says, write the balanced equation for the reaction between magnesium and nitric acid. So you should know that magnesium is Mg, and you should know that nitric acid is HNO3. So putting those in gets you 1 mark. The next thing is to look at the actual formula and the charge. So you should know magnesium is in group 2, so forms Mg2+, and your nitrate is an NO3 minus ion. Therefore, because that's 2+ and that's 1 minus, you need 2 lots of this molecule. So your formula will be MgNO3 2. Then secondly, hydrogen, you should know, goes around in pairs, is H2. So you will get 1 mark for your reactants and 1 mark for your products. And then finally, your 3rd mark is the balancing. You can see straight away I've got 2 hydrogens here and only 1 there, and 2 lots of my nitrate. So all I need to do is put a 2 in front of my nitric acid and we're balanced. If we move on to question 3, which says describe what you will see when sodium is reacted with hydrochloric acid, it's worth 2 marks. What you want to be doing is looking at the state symbols. So you can see on the left hand side I've got a solid and I've got something that's aqueous, so dissolved. On the right, aqueous and a gas. So the solid will have disappeared or dissolved. So your first mark is for saying the solid will dissolve or disappear. The second mark is what is going to appear on the right hand side. Now you won't see something that's aqueous, but you will see a gas. You don't get the mark for saying you'll see a gas, you have to say what you will actually see, which is fizzing, bubbles, and effervescence. Any of those three will get you the second mark. Question 4, explain why you will not see a reaction when silver is reacted with hydrochloric acid. The key thing here is reactivity. So there are two ways you could have written this. The first one being silver is unreactive, and then compare it to the reactivity of hydrogen. Silver is less reactive than hydrogen, gets you the second mark. And then finally, for those of you that attempted the higher question, those of you doing the half equations, you started off with magnesium. When magnesium goes into solution, it's going to lose 2 electrons to get a full outer shell. So it's going to become Mg2+. So by writing that, you get your first mark. The second mark is for saying how many electrons are going to be lost, which is 2 in this situation. Okay, that pretty much brings this video to an end. There is a review question, which is, for the following reaction, write the word equation, the balanced equation, and the half equation if you're doing the higher paper, and include state symbols. So the reaction is, lithium reacts with hydrochloric acid to form lithium chloride and hydrogen. And that ends this video. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click on subscribe down below, and you can also find out more information on my website, mrbarnestc.com, and Facebook and Twitter.